Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be posting a little bit of a different video. This is going to be a process of a character design I'm doing for a separate property idea it is that I have. This character is called Pinky, and he's quite the grotesque little rodent. He's been through a few things, I guess you could say. This is something it is that I've been playing around with for a while. I had a client that came to me a long time ago and had this idea of, of drawing a bunch of rodents in this kind of underworld. And we had done some concept art for it, and then the client just quietly stepped away. And, I told the client at the time that would it be okay if I did something with this? Because I really enjoyed working with the idea and sketching these strange creatures, and they didn't have an issue with it. So I've continued to turn it into my own thing, and once I get done with my other comic run, which is the Philip K. Dick files, then I'll be focusing on this. But for now, I'm just sharing some of the character concepts I've done, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about my process as we're looking at it here. Now, so far what we've seen is that I've actually brought a sketch from my sketchbook into Clip Studio, and I've given it a warm background. And with this warm background, it gives me something to kind of play off of. I don't really like to work on a solid white background all the time, because you want something to bounce off of in terms of the colors and the vibe it is that you're going to go for with the actual piece. And so what we're seeing here is that I've basically taken the sketch and I've redrawn it quite a bit into Procreate, put the sketch, the initial sketch in my sketchbook, in the Procreate file, and then drawn over it, and made some adjustments. And now you can see that I'm starting to add some color. What was interesting about this whole process of putting this particular piece together was that I started to make up my mind with this selection of character illustrations that I wanted to do something different with it, which is that I wanted to combine my pencil drawing technique with, which is what you're seeing here now, with more of my photo bashing technique. So that's what it is that we're going to see here in a moment. You can see that I'm wrestling with the colors a little bit and trying to figure out how far do I want to go with the photo bashing. And this was when I started to incorporate the photo bashing in terms of the texture. It's just something it is that I've realized is that you can get so much more out of a drawing by adding texture to your pieces by using photos. So with this here in a moment, you'll see I'm going to start dropping in some different textures and things like that to play around with, and to really give it that kind of gross look, because here at this stage it really doesn't have that. It doesn't have that finishing look that I was going for, and so I have to constantly pushing and pulling it and seeing which direction it's going to go. How am I going to create the kind of effect I want? Now, one of the really helpful things that you can keep in mind whenever you're photo bashing something into a drawing or a painting like this is that you want to use high resolution textures. And I would actually recommend a website called Texture Haven. I wouldn't recommend getting things off of just Google. For one, because there could be issues with rights, and I'm very much against the idea of just taking things without having any kind of commercial rights or anything. Even if you're pushing things, even if you're pushing things way out of what they would normally look, it might not be a good idea to do that. So to just always be on the safe side, using a website like Texture Haven is a good alternative to just Googling images, because you can use those images, you can use those textures for commercial purposes. And that's what you're seeing me do here. I've pulled some alien skin textures from the texture haven, and I've started to incorporate them, and I've laid them over my drawing, and now I'm going back over it and I'm painting over the individual components and trying to make it fit together. This to me has been like my preferred way to paint now, because it gives me something to work with. Sometimes when you look at a blank canvas, or you're trying to go for a particular kind of aesthetic, such as this kind of gross vibe it is that I'm going for with this piece, it can be really difficult. It can be really difficult to incorporate things like that into your work. So you can use different elements to kind of push and pull them by incorporating some photography elements, like I'm doing here with the backpack and whatnot. Now these may have been, I'm pretty sure the bottles and the texture on the chest that's behind him, those were more than likely textures I just grabbed offline, but you'll see that I pushed them far enough in terms of the shape and the texture to keep it from looking photorealistic. Sometimes I'll just use it as like a base for what I'm going to paint when it comes to the general value shapes and where the values are going to go. And so that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing me organize the different shapes, put them where it is that I want them to be. And I've realized that with these paintings, by doing these paintings, it's really helped me understand how to create texture and how to create something that has really interesting form to it, which is not something that's really easy to do whenever you're just drawing everything straight from your hand or straight from your mind or from reference. So this is a really good way to speed your process up and to also get some different effects that you wouldn't be able to get to otherwise. So that's pretty much my process. You're going to see me go through here and clean stuff up throughout the rest of the video, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. If you're interested in seeing a more in-depth tutorial on something like this, please feel free to drop a like and a comment and let me know if this was helpful. And if you'd like to see more of my art, or if you would like to see about getting a print of this character here, I'll have information down in the description box below. And I appreciate you guys. Take it easy.